Hi, you are probably here because you want to make this dress. This dress is made out of 4 panels, 2 front, 2 back. And as you can see here, I did not count rows, so I fucked up. This is a little bit shorter than the other sides, because what I did is when I made it, I made it and then I measured it until it was 114 centimeters. However, I must have measured this wrong. So if you want to be better than me, then make 1 panel and count how many rows you are doing until you have the length that you think that you need. You can measure it on when you have it on your knitting machine. But you can also count so that you are sure that every piece gets the same length, because this isn't the most prettiest, but I'm not about to start redoing it, so I'm making it work. This is what you need to make this dress. You need some waste yarn, you need the mohair yarn that you are going to have. My yarn is filcolana Tilia, and it's really thin. You can see the comparison to the waste yarn. Unfortunately, they don't have a recommendation for crochet or knitting hooks, so yeah, this is what I can give you. You need that. You need a scissor. You need a measuring device. You need a 5.5 crochet hook and a 3.0 crochet hook, and of course a knitting machine. And also what I said in the previous video, I didn't count rows. I wish I had come up with this solution before I started, but I didn't. What you can do is 10 rows. You can make 10 rows on your knitting machine, and that will equal let's say a circle. So now I made 10 rows, I'm doing a circle, and then you count again to 10. This means that now I have 20 rows, and now I have 30. You see the picture. This way you don't have to count. Oh, 3. You don't have to count every row. You can just, when you made 10 rows, you make a circle. Now this means I have 40 rows, and so on. So that's what I should have done. When you start your first piece, you count, you write it down, and then you measure it to see how long you want it for your body, and then you just use the same method for every piece. This way you know they are going to be equal. When making this dress, we are working in tube setting. Let's get started. So I am now gonna cast on for the panels, and all the panels are done the same, and you are going to make 4 panels in total. This is the white peg, and this is the first peg. So what I do is I cast on with waste yarn. So I put a strand in the middle here. You want a little strand in the middle, and then I go under the hook, and then I go over, under, over, under, over, under. There you get it. And now this is important, because the first here, where I cast on the first stitch, I am going to drop this, and I am going to drop this as well. Not because I want to, just because the machine is doing this. So what I do now is 1, 2, always 2 is dropped. Then I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So I want for my panels to have 28 pins. So this means, I'm going to zoom in a little bit. This is now my 28 peg. So it's important that the yarn, this yarn, is under this peg. And then I am taking the yarn in the yarn holder here. So now that I have it under this peg here, this is going to pick that up. So I am going to have a total of 28 pegs as I want to. So now I'm cranking back all the way back. And you want to make the first rows a little bit slow. And now I'll go back. And as you can see here, I have now dropped, I only dropped 1 stitch. But I'm usually dropping 2 stitches. I don't know why I only dropped 1, but anyways, take 2 stitches as if you drop 2 stitches and then count how many you want. So now I'm going back. And I am going to do 10 rows of waste yarn, and I will meet you back when I'm done with that. I'm going back. And let's see how many stitches I'm dropping now. This is my last stitch, and I need to make sure that it goes under this. There, and now I go back. And when you finish, this is my last peg on this side. It's important that it goes under this peg every time that we are cranking back. So this peg, because this is my last stitch, so I need it under that there, and now I can go back. That's important for every row, that it goes under that on both sides. So this is now my last peg, so I need it to come under this peg, and now it's under, so I can go back. And as you can see now, I have dropped these 2 stitches that I had before. These are the 2 stitches that I dropped, and this is my first stitch. So I am now gonna go back and forth 10 rows, and then I am going to show you how you incorporate the new yarn. As you could see here what I did, sometimes this gets stuck a little bit, so just tuck it back. And you can feel it because it's hard for the peg to come up. So I now made 10 rows of waste yarn, and this is my last pin. So I'm cracking it until the last pin. There it went under. And now I take my new yarn. I am using mohair from Tilia, and I don't think they are suggesting any hook size, but as you can see, it's pretty thin. So what I do is I place that in the middle, Now I take the waste yarn also in the middle, like this, and I put on the new yarn in the gauge, and I like to hold it in the back and the front a little bit, at least until now I have cranked down that peg so I know that it's in place, and then I'm holding the tension. And the first few rows here I'm going slow so that I know that it's getting picked up the way I want it to. And now I go back. The first few rows here, you can't even see the mohair, but it's gonna get shown, I promise. And also, what is good, the waste yarn that I'm using is a lot thicker than this mohair yarn, but it doesn't matter, and I think it's good because it's going to weight down the new yarn as I go, so I think that's good. It makes it more even, and it makes it getting holding place. Now I am starting to see the mohair here, and I'm gonna come back and show you, I'll tell you how many rows you are doing. But yeah, this is how you start all 4 panels. So all 4 panels are done the same, and they are made 2 in the front, 2 in the back. So do 4 rows, and I'm gonna come back. Also, I need to cut the black yarn. I can't find any scissors, so let's just, there you go, and place that in the middle there. And now we are cranking away. I always do the first few rows a little slower and really pay attention that every stitch is stitching up. So now I'm at the end of the panel, and I like to take my new yarn and the yarn that I have had and make a little knot just to make sure that it's holding in place. And I don't make a tied knot, I make a pretty loose knot. But I am doing a double knot, but do not tie it too tight to the ends here. And now I can keep on making my rows. So I made a few more rows here, and I wanted to show you this that I just think is a good with the knitting machine. I like to pull this a little bit. You see how it stretches out, and the same on this side. Let's zoom it in a little bit. And you can also pull it a little bit in the middle, but especially here on the sides, because sometimes for me the sides get like they get stuck here a little bit, but if I pull on it after like 3 rows, then they won't be stuck. So that's suggestion, if that is the same for you, just pull this the sides a little bit. And now we are going to continue making rows as we have.
Close eye, Duchess. She seems different.
Now I have the sleeve here, and I'm going to show you how we are casting off the sleeve. I go into the first stitch with the mohair yarn here. And I pick up that stitch, then I chain one, and then I make half double crochet, and I go into the same stitch that I picked up. This one is a little bit tricky because we chained and picked it up, so. And now I go into every stitch and picking them up. And making half double crochet. It's pretty hard to see what I'm doing since the yarn is so thin. So I'm going to show another video where I'm picking up the yarn from the waste yarn. But in that video I'm using single crochet. So it's the same technique, just make half double crochet until you have picked up every stitch in your sleeve, and then do the same on the other side. And I'm going to show the other video so you can see the technique better. I make a single crochet in all of these stitches. And now I am in my magic knot there. You can see how it's going to look in the crochet. It's here, it doesn't show, but it's secured. So now I am going to keep on making single crochets in every blue stitch until the end. I have now made half double crochet in every stitch here, So now I am going to remove the waste yarn. So in some, for the rows here, I can just pull out the waste yarn from the top, but up here I can't. It's stuck, and I actually don't know why and how to fix that. If you want to save your waste yarn, what you can do is you go in from underneath here and pull the yarn out. And now actually I don't see. Okay, whatever. You can take out that yarn and save, but I'm in a bad mood. It's been a long week and I really don't like to. So what I am going to do is I'm gonna show you another way, a more satisfying way of getting rid of your waste yarn that just don't want to quit. So you can cut your waste yarn pretty close to the edges here, but be careful because you do not want to cut your work. Yeah, so when you have cut all the way through, you just take the yarn out, and that's a struggle as well to get all that out. Now I have fastened off with half double crochet. You could leave it like this, but me actually I want this to have like a line that's more noticeable. So what I do is I change my 5.5 crochet hook to a 3.0 crochet hook. I place it in I chain 1 and I turn, and now what I'm going to do is I am going to make half double crochet in every stitch that I already made. So I chain 1 and then I'm going into the same stitch that I previously did and make a half double crochet. And now here, normally I would go here is my V, but I don't want this hole here. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to go in all the way down there and make a half double crochet. And then for this one, this is not as low, so I'm going in between here, making a half double crochet. And here again, it's the low one, so I'm going all the way down and taking it up. I don't do any special half double crochet. I just do a half double crochet as I normally do, just to get this to come up closer. So as you can see, this hole isn't as big as it was because we lifted it, I say. So go all the way down here. So that's what you are doing for every front piece and every back piece in both sides, the top and the bottom. However, in the sleeve we are only making half double crochet without the extra row. Making half double crochet. It's important to look both in both pieces. So this is where I have been crocheting, so this would be the next place. So I've been crocheting here. Let's go there then. Been in this loop, so let's go to the next one. And the same on this side. This is where I've been here, so I go into that. And that's just how you are going to make the body come together by making half double crochet in like every little loop that you have here. So there, 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 there. Kind of looks like V's if you make them towards you. I'm just going to show a few more. What you want, honey?
The food is here.
Is the food here?
Yeah.
Do you want me to stop?
Yeah.
Okay, guys, I have to go. My daughter needs me to eat with her. Say hi.
Hi.
Show yourself. So that's what you are going to do for the entire side of the dress on both sides. So for the head part here, I have already crochet half double crochet with my big hook in the entire section piece, on every piece as I shown, with the big hook and the small hook. So I don't do anything more here in the head part. When I crochet together the length of the pieces in the dress, this part, I did the same as I shown on the side of the dress. So I just took my smaller hook and made half double crochet all the way down. And you can choose if you want the part where you crochet together to have as your front part. And this is how it's going to look if you have that on the other side. So you choose what you think looks best. I want this to be shown. I think it looks good. So I place this as my front part, the right side of the dress. Also, on the sides, I left a little slit. So you just crochet down as long as you think you want it and try it on and see if it's good. Head part. When I crochet together the length of the pieces in the dress, this part, I did the same as I shown on the side of the dress. So I just took my smaller hook and made half double crochet all the way down. And you can choose if you want the part where you crochet together to have as your front part. And this is how it's going to look if you have that on the other side. So you choose what you think looks best. I want this to be shown. I think it looks good. So I place this as my front part, the right side of the dress. Also, on the sides, I left a little slit. So you just crochet down as long as you think you want it and try it on and see if it's good. I made 34 stitches together on both shoulders, 34. What I do recommend is that you make as many stitches as you think you want here for your head to be fitting and for it to look good. So you crochet that with your small hook, the 3 millimeter crochet hook, and then you do that on both sides. You do not fasten off. You put on your garment and see if you like how it looks. You can push back, you can add more. So that's for the shoulders. I crochet them together just by holding them. Actually it's this side, so I just hold them together and made half double crochet where I have made the half double crochet before with the bigger hook. 32 stitches for me on both sides. So before you start your sleeves, it's important that you have sewn your 4 front and back pieces together here and in the shoulders, not on the side. You do that after. But the reason that it's important to sew it together before you start the sleeve is, as you can see here, a part of my sleeve is from the front and back piece here. So what I did, I put it on, and then from where this part was, I measured how long my sleeve should be, and the measurement for the sleeve is 40 centimeters for me. But measure it out on you and see how long you need your sleeve to be. It depends on your length, and it also depends on how big your front and back pieces are. I apologize for the bad lighting, but I'm in Sweden and the sun goes down really fast here, so this is what we got. This is my sleeve, and I have been knitting along, and I have about 27 centimeters measuring this out. And now what I want to do, you can see a finished sleeve over there. I'm gonna start to increase here so that it gets a little bit bigger, and I'm gonna show you how I do that. So as I have it right now, if I wouldn't be increasing, I would just turn and go the other way, but I am decreasing. So this is the peg that I have now, and I want it to come to the next peg because I want it bigger. So I crank it to one more, it needs to go under this, and then I turn my work the other way, and I do the same on this side. I go until I have it to the next peg next to the one I have, so that I now I have increased one stitch on the sleeve, and then I am going to do now I increased here and on this side, and now I'm turning without increasing, and the same on this side. We do not want to increase here. We go back, and again we go back to this side. And now I am going to increase again by cranking it to one more stitch. So this would be the increase that I did. I want to increase it again, so I crank it until that. And we do the same on this side. We crank it until we increase it by one more stitch. And now we do 1, 2, 3, and 4 back. And now I am going to increase it again. So when you made the increase on this side and one on that side, you go back and make 1, 2, and 3, and then you increase again. I have another video with black yarn showing more up close on how to increase. So I am going to put that in this video so you see it more up close. And also we don't have a lot of rows here because I didn't want the sleeve to become too big. But if you want the sleeves to become even bigger, then you can start increasing sooner. You don't have to wait until you have 27 centimeters. You can have like 20, you can have 15, I don't know. Whenever you want to start to increase, you can do that, and you can increase more times than I did. So I am increasing on both sides, and then I go, I increase on this side, I increase on that side, and then I count 1, 2, 3, 4, and then on the 5th I increase again. On this side I go back and I increase on that side, and then I count 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we go back and increase again. So that's the pattern for the increases. You make increases on both sides, and then you make 4 rows. 4 rows of no increase, and then you go back the 5th row and increase again on both sides. Again, here's the sleeve when it's finished. As you can see, it starts to get bigger here. I did a total of 4 increases, and then I finished off by making some rows. I think like I finished off with 10 rows without increasing, just keeping it straight. So I have now measured my sleeve, and it is 45 centimeters long in total. So I am going to cast on my waist yarn and make like 10 rows of waist yarn, and then I am going to show you how to fasten off the sleeve. It is now time for what I think is the best part. I have placed the waist yarn inside. Now I'm gonna crank it out. Now I go back the same way, and look at that. How beautiful is that? Love it. And here you have it. Now it is time to fasten off. Now we are going to sew the sleeves. Have your piece turned inside out. You take your sleeve. This is the upper part and this is the down part. You fold it in half. And now we take the middle and we are going to attach it on the shoulders of the piece. So you have it folded in half and you place the middle of the sleeve in the middle of the shoulders. And you can use a stitch marker, but I'm using yarn here. And now I am going to count to make sure that I have the same amount on both sides. I don't count the middle stitch of the sleeve, so I have 14 stitches on one side and 13 on the other, and that's okay. And now stretch out your piece and stretch out your sleeve, and I am going to attach it. I am not going to count here. I'm just going to attach it where I think it will be good, and I'm pulling it a little bit. And fasten the yarn, and then I'm going to do the same on the other side. Now I have attached the sleeve on both sides and the middle. I am going to attach the yarn in one of the sides and sew it together, and I am going to stretch out the sleeve because we are going to have gonna look like we have more room or something. So I am now going to attach my yarn in the first stitch of the sleeve. And I chain one. Oh. Chain one. And now I'm actually going to pick it up. And I'm making sure that it's nice and even through the sleeve and the body piece. And as you can see, my stitches here in the sleeve are a little bit bigger than in the body piece here. So I'm gonna do like, for that stitch, I am doing 2 stitches in the body piece so that it's even out. And what I mean by that is that I'm going to just take away some of this yarn tails. So I'm making half double crochet in every stitch here. And now I'm still going in the same stitch, but in another stitch in the body piece. Like this. I actually think I'm going to place 1 stitch here as well. So you're kind of just since you've been stretching it out, you are kind of making stitches where you feel it's appropriate, I think. But a rule of thumb is 2 stitches on the sleeve, 2 in the same stitch of the sleeve, I should say, and 2 difference in the body. Let's see how it looks now. What the fuck? Yeah, and keep on doing that all the way across until you reaches this side. So I am now finished crocheting half double crochet across the sleeve. It looks like this. And now I'm going to continue crocheting together the sleeves. So I haven't fastened off, the yarn is still attached. So what I do is I fold it like this, so they're still facing out. And now I am going to crochet together the sleeve itself. So I simply take it up, and here is my first stitch, and here are the sides of the sleeves. So I want them to come together. So what I do is I yarn over, I go into like the first stitch here on one side, and then here on the other side, and I make a half double crochet. And now we are going in the sleeve. So if you want to, you can place stitch marker along the sleeve to know that it's coming together well. I'm lazy, I won't. But what you're going to do is simply make half double crochet to make the sides getting joined together. So it's really quite simple. You just crochet half double crochet in the entire sleeve, and when you are done, you are making the other sleeve the same way, and you fasten off and sew in your yarn tail, and there you have it. You have 2 sleeves together. Yeah, thank you. So the sleeve is done, so it's now time to make sure that we are getting the body pieces together. So I have my yarn string here, I have a few yarn tails, I need to sew them in later. So what I do is I pick up the piece, set that aside. This is my working yarn. I go in like in the middle of where everything is. I need to get this away. And then I pick up the yarn. Okay, so my sleeve is here and my entire dress length is here now. So you make half double crochet, getting everything together. So I'm going in here and here close to that, making half double crochet. It's important to look both in both pieces. So this is where I have been crocheting, so this would be the next place. So I've been crocheting here. Let's go there then. Been in this loop, so let's go to the next one. And the same on this side. This is where I've been here, so I go into that. And that's just how you are going to make the body come together, by making half double crochet in like every little loop that you have here. So there, 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 there. Kind of looks like V's if you make them towards you. I'm just going to show a few more. What you want, honey?
The food is here.
Is the food here?
Yeah.
Do you want me to stop?
Yeah.
Okay, guys, I have to go. My daughter needs me to eat with her. Say hi.
Hi.
Show yourself. So that's what you are going to do for the entire side of the dress on both sides. When you are done crocheting your dress and sewing in all your ends, you can start wearing it. I would appreciate it if you followed me here on YouTube, on Instagram, everywhere you can. Like this video, comment if you have any questions and I will answer them. And maybe another one making it have the same question. So please write your questions in the comment here. And prescribe, so I know that you want to have more free centro knitting patterns. Thank you.